much, yeah, talk about whatever you want.
Talk about whatever I want.
To do with floating.
Careful.
Like, you know, why people try, why people float,
Okay.
and
Cool.
like what to expect and that kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Well, I mean, floating is basically an environment without any external stimulation of the body. And the two big ones that are most important that you're always responding to, even when you're sleeping, are the effects of gravity and the temperature difference across your skin. That you're always spending metabolic energy regulating, heating and cooling, maintaining that internal homeostatic set point, right? So you fix those in the isolation tank. And then it's also completely dark and completely silent. And it's basically like this environment that guides the body towards balance and healing and very, very deep relaxation. And it does so at the physical level first, and then the mind quickly follows, right? So for people that have a tough time kind of slowing down or meditating, right, this environment helps bring the body and the mind there naturally, which gives you practice, right? And once you've kind of started to pattern those neural networks for quote-unquote meditation, people find it easier to bring that out with them into their lives, right? So it does become a practice of mindfulness and awareness, right? Which is extremely beneficial in a world right now where overstimulation has kind of become the norm, right? And even while I was talking like a few seconds ago, right, like I've got my phone going off the hook, and you know, we've got lights and sounds and this and that.
Yeah.
This becomes a very, very beneficial practice, right? Something that's really, really important in a world that has no signs of slowing down, right? And it's not that we shouldn't engage, because we should, fully. And taking some time out to relax at like an extreme level gives you a better opportunity to reconnect and re-engage and be fully present, right, in a world that's very, very fast and busy.
So I think that's sweet too, like, because some people think, oh, like we're so connected to everything and we're overstimulated, but I think that's a cool thought to be, like, that's a good thing, because that's the way that the world is evolving and we're evolving with it. But take some time to just do nothing and reconnect and yeah.
Absolutely. That's like why we go in nature, or why we spend time with a loved one.
Yeah.
You know, it's you know, let's get out of the craziness for a while and have a, you know, a core experience with ourselves or with another person.
Yeah, but embrace it when you're in it too. Embrace the crazy.
Yeah.
So one of our challenges was to do meditation, and Matt's been doing like yoga, and we're in place of that. But I've been practicing mindfulness, and so I definitely like kind of drew parallels from it when I was in the chamber, but like at a more, like, I got lost more. So like when I'm doing my mindfulness practice, I find it's like easier and quicker for me to realize, oh, I'm lost in a thought. Okay, let's bring it back to nothing. Like, acknowledge that thought and come back to mindfulness. But like in the chamber, like I would like delve deep into like memories or like imaginations, and then I'm like, whoa, I'm in a box. And then like that's snapping back into it, which is kind of cool.
It's cool that you bring that up, right? Because was your experience a little bit different?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was kind of similar, but I kept coming back to like the physical pain. Like I couldn't really like, I would like relax for a little bit and kind of like get lost, and then like I'd feel it, and then I would come back to the physical pain. And it kept like kind of pulling me out, like distracting me.
This is a really perfect example of how we can really look at the tank for what it is. And it's not a technique like mindfulness is a technique. It's an environment. That's it. So you bring in your habits of mindfulness that you're working on, and you've got this great environment that allows you to get deeper into that practice.
Right.
And then for someone that has a lot of physical pain, that's very noisy in the body, that's where your awareness comes back to, because that's the most important thing that you're kind of dealing with layer by layer, right? And so you would notice as you floated more, or as some of that pain leaves your body, that you're able to drop into deeper layers of the experience. And then there's this beautiful expression, right? It's don't linger in the doorway. And that's one way of saying don't get stuck within the tank space itself. And so as you've gone deeper into these meditations or imaginations, and then you kind of snap back into the tank, that's almost what we're trying to learn to get past.
Right.
Is, I'm in this box of water. And so you have these terrestrial experiences of being in the physical space, but then you can have these what are called like extraterrestrial experiences, where you can completely leave the tank and the earth and go into very, very deep imaginations that feel like astral projection or psychedelic experiences naturally. And that's what's available to you the more you float. It gets really cool and beautiful.
How long have you been doing it for?
2.5 years.
2.5 years?
Yeah.
And how did you get started?
I floated in the guy's garden shed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right around the time I met you, Dylan, was
Oh, really?
my first float. Yeah, in 2013.
Yeah.
And I drove out to Surrey, and it was this like wooden tank in a guy's white rickety garden shed, 5-minute pool shower. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And it completely changed my life. Where I was at that time was not as what I would recognize as emotionally stable as I am now. And it was quite a powerful shift for me, a welcoming into a mindfulness practice, a self-love practice. That's the thing we need to work on as a culture, is like self-love, and giving things to ourselves.
Yeah. So, are you willing to talk in any more detail about how it's changed your life and
Oh, sure,
how you were there then and how you are now that you do the flow?
Yeah. Let's use this term for the university people. I was a bro. I was totally a bro.
Been there.
And so I was drinking a lot.
Oh yeah.
I was using a lot of cannabis. I had some addiction issues with tobacco, partying. I was really depressed, and I didn't really have a lot of motivation. I was just plugging away through school, feeling shitty a lot. And actually I started doing some yoga at Moksha here in Kelowna, and that was like a major shift. I was doing a lot of cannabis hot yoga, where you'd eat some cannabis edibles and then go into the hot room and just have this like intense spiritual yoga class, right? And that didn't satisfy me for a while. Like it fully did. I had a 2-year practice, and then I just wanted something more, right? And so I actually found floating because I was interested in getting super psychedelic and going deep and those sorts of things. And then I started floating, and none of my expectations were met. And I'm going like, well, I thought it would be much more psychedelic on its own, and I was kind of like upset. And that started to show me slowly that it can get very psychedelic the more that you practice and you allow and you let go of expectations. And then I've learned that, just doing that in the tank has developed this skill set in my life where I can begin to let go. And it's like living your yoga or living your meditation, all these things that you go through in a float journey, you bring with you in your life. And they're very great faculties for just navigating with more presence, ease, creativity, and love and patience, right?
Yeah, cool. That makes me think of like how whatever you expose yourself to is going to shape who you are and how you think. Like if you're on like social media all day, like on Instagram or whatever, looking at people with money and cars, and you're going to feel insecure about your life, and that's going to carry into when you go out throughout your day, right? So same thing, if you're spending an hour or whatever every day floating, that's going to shape the way your brain is and then shape how you go out. And
if your phone is dinging every time and you grab and check it every time you have a notification, that could translate into how you deal with like a stressful situation, right? You're like, oh my god, I gotta fix this right now. Like I've gotta figure this out. It's gotta happen right now. But like, that's not.
Yeah, it's like
That's
a
not how things work
reactionary
outside.
way of living. Like
Yeah.
you're always constantly reacting and responding to things from the outside for how to feel on the inside, versus like applying your own. And I'll go a little bit hippie here, but applying your own vibration to the world is basically just living intentionally. You know, taking your cues only from an internal experience, which I call the in periods.
No, I like that.
And then, you know, you apply it to your world. You get very effective, you know.
Instead of letting your external world shape what you do internally or how you feel
Yeah.
internally.
You craft the world that you live in.
Yeah, that's cool.
We are architects of our own divinity, as they say.
Ooh, I like that. Now we're talking. How often do you recommend doing it, or do you have people that come in and do it every day, or do you have people
We
come
do,
in once
yeah.
a week?
Most common is once a week for people that have an ongoing practice.
Yeah.
What we recommend if you're wanting to get into it is it does have this cumulative effect. So come, you know, once every couple weeks for 6-10 floats, and then typically people only need once every 2 weeks to once a month to like maintain that process. Otherwise, if you're doing it once a year, once every 6 months, you're going to constantly be feeling like it's sort of like your first float.
Yeah, and it's just
Right.
tough to get into.
Yeah, it's kind of like going to the gym.
Yeah.
You can go once a year and like you're never going to make any gains, but if you just kind of keep at it, you know, you'll slowly improve.
Oh. Interesting. Do you have any other questions?
I don't think so.
You're a good speaker.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. You're really good at articulating.
Yeah, and thank you so much for letting us do this and
Oh,
letting us
it's
film you.
it's a symbiotic
Yeah.
Yeah,
relationship, right? Absolutely. I'm happy I can share it with you guys too.
Oh yeah.
And I love what you're doing. It's super cool.
Glad you like it.
I mean, you mentioned sort of, you know, you've got 30 subscribers now.
Our videos are getting
And they're
over 100
growing.
views now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Good.
Social media manager. I can snap it,
It's,
man.
it's fantastic.
No, yeah, I knew, and like that's kind
gonna
of
keep-
you know like I think I'll joke about it and kind of like downplay it, but I mean it's just I don't know. We knew it was going to be humble beginnings. We filmed our first video in front of my closet.
You're
Like
social.
it's
It's
just
sweet.
yeah, it's where you start.
I love them. I always watch them every time you guys post one. And they do have an impact on my life as well.
Good to hear.
So
Thanks, stuff.
I watched your paleo one and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to totally start doing that. That's a great idea. And I did. And I feel awesome.
Yeah. Are you doing it right now?
I am.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
sweet. Yeah, we've got to do more on that. I've been reading a lot, and there's so much material on, like, just the effect. Like, I mean, it seems so obvious, but like, you are what you eat. It's like we kind of just forget about it, right? If you're gonna eat like chips at the end of every night before you go to bed, like you don't think about it, but it has such a profound effect on your body. And when you get really physiological about it and the effect of your insulin and your blood glucose and everything else, and they like the connections to Alzheimer's and everything from excessive sugar use, like some researchers call Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes. Like so, like once you kind of make that emotional connection to it as well, there's so much out there that we've got to, yeah. But again, it's if you want to do it, and that's kind of seems to be the big thing. There's lots of people that are like, hey, I had a cold shower today, or like I had a cold shower the other day. I was like, what about all the days up to there? It's like talk is cheap. If you really want to do it and you care about it, then you will, right? There's people that'll continue to eat.
Have you guys checked out Wim Hof?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
He's
Is
nuts.
that the Iceman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the coolest shit.
It's amazing.
He's the coolest guy, man.
I was doing his challenges in the winter last year.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going out to like the waterfalls and stuff while it's like snowy, and you can't get past the 2.5 minute mark though.
No.
That's
Like,
pretty good.
Dead of winter, it's like you can't feel your body, and then the fear comes in, right? Where it's like, well, if you pass out and you're in the water, like that's a problem.
Man, that's so crazy. That's such a crazy like feeling. That's something that we're just trying to like tap into when we're doing our workouts, where like, you know, your body can't tell the difference of, you know, you're lifting, you know, you're doing bicep curls versus you're like a primal human, like pulling an animal off of you or something, right? So your brain doesn't know the difference of what you're doing. So if you can get to that point of that fear and the like ultimate, like you're absolutely failing, you're about to die, because that's where like muscle growth comes from, like because you almost escaped. Man, I can't be that close to escaping next time. I need to be stronger for the next time I escape from my predator or whatever.
Okay.
So like we're trying to get to that point with workouts, like you get to that kind of fear, that like that point, and then keep going, go past it, and like get past that
And that's where the gains are.
barrier, and that's where the gains are.
Cool.
That's what we're going
They're
with.
hidden back there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So I'd like to do it once more before we review.
Yeah.
Does that work
Absolutely.
with you? Can I do it again?
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
Well, I wanted to give you guys a week of it,
Oh, okay.
but it's on your schedule, right? So
Yeah.
feel free.
Okay. I'd probably do it a couple more times, just because I feel like I need to. Like it's something like you said, you have to work at it.
And come maybe after a workout next time.
Yeah.
Like plan it so that you're physically exhausted and then you get in there.
What kind of times work for you? Like
Every time.
every time?
Yeah, we're open from when you guys are here, 8 a.m. until midnight every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
If you guys want to.
Having some after a workout, definitely come after a workout.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's so relaxing. Because you're all pumped up and you can just feel your body just move.
Yeah.
And then just, it's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But that's definitely a recommendation of mine
Yeah,
as well.
Cool. Thanks.